Imagine a quiet place in Norway, near a large lake called Tyrifjorden. The year is 2021. Archaeologists are carefully digging in the earth, a place where people were buried long, long ago. They are looking for clues about the past, small things left behind by people who lived and died thousands of years before us. They expect to find old bones, perhaps some simple tools or pieces of pottery. It is slow, patient work, brushing away soil layer by layer, looking for anything that tells a story. Every find is a small victory, a connection to a lost world. Suddenly, something special appears. It is not gold or a shiny jewel. It is a block of reddish-brown sandstone, about the size of a large book. At first, it might not look like much, just another rock in the ground. But as the archaeologists clean it, they see marks on its surface. These are not random scratches made by a plow or the weather. They are deliberate, careful lines carved by a human hand. The team feels a rush of excitement, a feeling that they have found something truly important. This stone has been waiting in the dark earth for a very long time. The place where they found it is called Svingerud. This discovery was part of an excavation for a new railway line. Before the modern world builds, we must often look to the ancient world buried beneath our feet. The grave was old, dating back to the time of the Roman Empire. Inside, the archaeologists found burnt bones and charcoal. This told them it was a cremation grave, a common practice in this period. The stone was found inside the grave, alongside the remains of the person buried there. It was a silent companion, a message meant for the dead, or perhaps for the gods. This stone, now called the Svingerud Stone, was not just any rock with carvings. The experts quickly realized they were looking at runes, the ancient alphabet of the Germanic peoples of Northern Europe. But these runes looked different, older than any they had seen before. A shiver goes down your spine when you think about it. The person who carved these marks lived and breathed around the time of Christ. They were sending a message across 2,000 years, a faint whisper from a forgotten time, and we are now the first people to hear it. So what exactly are runes? Think of them as the letters of an ancient alphabet, much like the A, B, and C we use today. This alphabet is called the Futhark, named after its first 6 letters, F-U-T-H-A-R-K. For centuries, this was the way people in Scandinavia and other parts of Northern Europe wrote things down. They didn't use paper and ink like we do. Instead, they carved these straight, angular letters into hard surfaces like wood, bone, metal, and, most famously, stone. Each rune had a name and a sound, but for these ancient people they were more than just letters. Runes were believed to hold power and magic. The word rune itself means secret or mystery. Carving runes was not something everyone could do. It was a special skill. People used them to write names, to mark ownership of an object, or to create memorials for important people who had died. These memorial stones are what we call rune stones. They stand like ancient monuments across the landscape of Scandinavia, telling stories of Viking voyages, of battles fought, and of family members lost. They are like history books written in stone, a direct link to the minds of our ancestors. Most of the rune stones we know about are from the Viking Age, which started around the year 800 AD. These are the famous stones with pictures of dragons and ships, telling tales of brave warriors. They are impressive and tell us a great deal about Viking society, their beliefs, and their adventures across the sea. For a long time, historians thought that the tradition of raising runestones started in the 300s or 400s AD. We had found many stones from that later period, but the very beginning of this tradition was a complete mystery, lost in the mists of time. The Svingerud stone changes everything we thought we knew. It is so much older than all the others. The charcoal and bones found in the grave with the stone were tested in a laboratory. The results were astonishing. The grave and the stone inside it are from sometime between the year 1 and 250 AD. This means the Svingerud stone is the oldest rune stone ever discovered in the entire world. It pushes the history of runic writing on stone back by centuries, taking us closer to the very birth of this mysterious script. When you look closely at the Svingerud stone, you can see it is very different from the later Viking Age stones. The carvings are not as deep or as neat. They look more experimental, like someone was still learning how to write or how to carve on this difficult surface. The runes themselves belong to a very early version of the Futhark alphabet. Some of the shapes are strange, precursors to the letters that would become common hundreds of years later. It is like looking at a first draft of history, a pilot episode for the entire runic tradition. The style of the Svingerud stone is not uniform. On one side, you see a grid of lines and small, playful-looking zigzag figures. These might not be writing at all. They could be practice carvings, or perhaps they had a magical purpose that we no longer understand. This mix of clear letters and strange symbols is unusual. Later rune stones are often very formal, with the text running in a neat band, often shaped like a snake or a ribbon. The Svingerud stone feels more personal, more chaotic, a raw expression from a distant past. Another key difference is the stone itself. It is a relatively small, portable block of sandstone. Many Viking Age rune stones are huge monoliths, massive boulders set up to be seen from far away. They were public monuments designed to show the power and prestige of a family. The Svingerud stone is intimate. It was placed inside a grave, hidden from view. This suggests its purpose was different. It was not a public announcement but a private message, perhaps intended only for the person who had passed away or for the gods of the underworld. This discovery forces us to rethink the purpose of the first rune stones. Perhaps they were not originally meant to be grand memorials at all. Maybe they started as something much more personal and connected to burial rituals. The Svingerud stone could be evidence of an early belief that writing could help the dead on their journey to the afterlife. It is a deeply personal object, a final gift to a loved one, etched with the most powerful symbols they knew. The secret letters of the runes. The most exciting part of the Svingerud stone is the text carved on its front face. 8 runes stand out, spelling a word, Idiberug, or it could be Idiberun, or maybe Idibera. The scholars are still debating. This is not a name we recognize from other ancient texts. It is a complete mystery. What could it mean? One possibility is that it is the name of the person buried in the grave. Perhaps we are looking at the name of a woman called Idibera. If so, this is one of the oldest recorded names in Scandinavian history. Another fascinating theory connects the word to family. The ending ug or un might be related to a word for kin or for the family. So the inscription could mean for Idibera, a dedication from her relatives. Imagine the scene 2,000 years ago, a family grieving, carefully carving this message for their lost loved one before placing the stone in the grave with her ashes. It is an incredibly moving thought, a timeless expression of love and loss that connects our world directly to theirs. This stone gives a voice to people who were, until now, completely silent. The connection between the stone and the burial ritual is undeniable. It was not found by the side of a road. It was found at the heart of a sacred act, the final farewell to a member of the community. This suggests that writing itself was seen as a powerful, almost magical tool in religious ceremonies. Carving runes might have been part of the ritual, a way to give the dead protection or guidance in the next world. The act of writing was not just for communication, it was a way to interact with the supernatural world. The discovery of the Svingerud stone opens up a whole new chapter in our understanding of the past. It is more than just the world's oldest rune stone. It is a window into the minds of people who lived in Northern Europe during the age of the Roman Empire. It tells us that they were not isolated barbarians, but a people with a sophisticated culture, a complex belief system, and crucially, the gift of writing. This single block of sandstone reminds us that there are still so many secrets buried beneath our feet, just waiting for us to find them